Hello, it's Jimmy here at O'Reilly's, and I have here behind me this white Land Rover Evoque that we've just come to have a look at. It's got an AdBlue error on it, and Land Rover told him he's got a 3 to 6 weeks wait until they can get it in for an initial diagnostic assessment. Then he'd be waiting longer than that, so I'm here to have a look at it and hopefully we'll be able to get it sorted for him. Okay, let's go down and have a look. Okay, we're inside the car. I'll close that door so it stops beeping. We have, what have we got? Doesn't seem to be an engine light on, but he says it's got a limited amount of miles left until it won't start. Well, let's try and clear all that off. Or is there somewhere? And that is the reason why he hasn't switched the engine off. He said it reached 0 miles, and he's just driven it here to me. Basically, he's driven it back from his place of work, which is 50 odd miles away, and he's just about made it home, so we can have me have a look at it. Okay, so I'm going to use the Launch UK Euro Tab 3. That's the model there. Okay, now we're in. We'll press diagnose, and this is a 2016 with a 2-litre Ingenium engine. We'll do high-speed scan. Okay, just about done there. NOX Exceedance, NOX Exceedance, driver inducement active. This one means that you've got a certain amount of miles left until the vehicle will not restart anymore, which I think it's run out. Don't have any, I can't seem to see any lights on there, but he said it's on. NOX driver inducement active. Well, I've got 2 different codes for that. And then we have selective catalyst reduction below threshold, catalyst reduction below threshold, NOX Exceedance insufficient, diesel exhaust quality, diesel exhaust quality. Let's go through some of these again, make sure I've read them all correctly. Okay, now this all started when he ran out of AdBlue. He said he topped it up, but the message didn't go away. Now the problem is with these cars, and most of these modern cars, is they've got a really, it's a complicated system, but it's not very clever, because if you let the AdBlue go too low, you get these NOX Exceedance codes come up, efficiency codes, catalyst efficiency codes, and that could have people go down the route of, oh, you've got a catalyst efficiency code there, so it's going to need a new catalyst. That's going to cost you a few grand at least, and you don't really need one. You could start chucking parts everywhere here. NOX Exceedance. Oh, it probably needs a NOx sensor. You know, £400 or £500 to get one fitted, and it doesn't really need one. I think most of these, like I've seen before, if you look at my videos, it just gets set off if you let the AdBlue level go too low, and once it gets to that level, even when you top it up, it doesn't reset it. Then you get the crystallization from the empty AdBlue tank and the empty lines. It starts to crystallize, you get crystallization. So what we're going to have to do is maybe clean out the AdBlue injector, any of the crystallization from it, put a flush through the catalyst, get any crystallization out of there, and just do a reset of the system. Make sure the AdBlue level is topped up. Another thing that can do this on these is if you overfill the AdBlue level, so you should have 16 litres I believe on these, and if you go over that, you will get the same sort of errors here come up, and they will not reset until you drain some of the fluid from it. So it's a pretty stupid design. People really don't know how much they're putting in. They just think, is it full or not? Let's stick another 5 litres in, and that's it, you've overfilled it. Okay, so I've just moved that little subframe, crossframe there out of the way, and we there have access to the AdBlue injector. I'm going to open this little size 4 Allen key bolt here, get it off, and then clean it out. Okay, now I've got that off. You can see it doesn't really look too bad. A little bit on there, but not much. But if we have a look at where that inserts into the exhaust, I'll try and get around there and show you. So it's really difficult to get a camera in there, but I don't know if you can see that. The actual port where the AdBlue goes into is completely blocked. really hard to get the camera around there with some light. So where that is just here. If I get it with the flash side of the camera around, it's a bit easier, but you can see there it's got a build up on it. It's completely blocked up. It's just turned into sort of concrete. Okay, so here's some of the tools I'm going to use to do this job. Is a little pick. So this is just to pick off any of the hardened up adblue crystals. I've got some of this launch cleaner, Launch UK DPF cleaner, in this wort spray bottle. I've got a compressor and a Launch UK gun that goes in there as well. So first of all, we're going to clean off the area, spray it up with this to soften it up, and then scrape it off. Then we'll insert the pressurized gun, spray the litre of cleaning fluid inside the catalyst and get it cleaned out. So now if I just get this spray bottle to spray up the front of where that sits, and the adblue injector, then I'll just use the pick here to get in there, try and break any of that loose. Okay, so now I've managed to get that out. Didn't manage to knock off the camera there as I was doing it, but we had a lot of stuff come out. So this is just some of the pieces that came out. Sort of turns into like a concretey ceramic type material. See, that last bit is really tough. So now we're just going to get this inserted into that same hole. We'll crank the compressor up to 130 psi, and then we'll pull this trigger. Get that fluid sprayed in there. Now you can see there it's getting a bit full. Got some of it coming back out. So I will now remove this. Then I've just cleaned out the adblue injector there at the front of it. Okay, now we've fitted all of that back together, we'll get back in the car. We'll start the engine up. We'll reverse it off of this ramp. Oh, there we got that message now again. No engine restarts. So it's not on 0 at the minute, but it's just says that no restarts pretty soon. Brake pads are worn also, and the fuel light's on. Now I'm just going to hold the revs up to about 2,000 to 3,000 RPM for a couple of minutes. Now while you're holding the revs, you might see some vapour coming out of the rear of the car there. You can see a small bit, but it's fading away quickly. Okay, now with the engine off, we can go, I think we can do it through here or through here. So exhaust emission, we don't want to do particle filter replacement, we want to do AdBlue reset. So let's go to fluid pump prime and pressure tests. That's not what we're looking for here, but let's do that one. We're going to check the level of the AdBlue. Now the customer did say he topped it up with around 10 litres. Now my other question is here, if you can check the level of the AdBlue with a diagnostic machine, why don't they just have a little gauge on the dashboard where you can check it? My Volvo did have that. Okay, so it says it needs 1.4 litres to fill it to max, so that's good enough, so we'll leave it at that. Now the vehicle wants to do a trouble code clear, so we'll just do that. We're just doing a full code clear now. See, all of these other codes are just interior light, the rear camera. We're not really concerned about those ones. It's the ECM codes that we're worried about. And what I'm looking for is the option to reset the NOX quality monitor, but we don't have that right here. I couldn't see it just a minute ago, so we're just going to go and look for that again. We'll look in the powertrain, engine reset, catalyst, start, inhibit, and then yeah, we'll do that. This is allow us to reset the countdown of the AdBlue, the mileage countdown. and that's complete. We might not even have to do that, but we'll do the main one we need to do is reset the quality monitor. There it is over there. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, now it's asking is it still illuminated, so we'll check that and turn the engine off. Restart it, see if we still get the message. No, it's gone. Brake pads. Service required. Fuel low. Okay. So now we can go ahead and tick this, that no, we no longer have the message, so that means it's done successfully. Switch it off. Switch it to number 2. And now it's going to want to clear the codes again, because those codes won't clear until you reset that. Now that's all successful. Press OK. Ignition off. And we're finished. Now we should start the engine back up. And what we'll do is go back from here and back again. We'll do a recode scan of the ECM. So all of these codes now should be gone. Okay, so now we've confirmed all the fault codes are gone. We'll just do a high-speed scan of the rest of the car now as well. Windshield misting sensor and rear camera. So just in case people will ask questions, I'll close the door so that stops beeping. Two things can cause the AdBlue quality monitor or the NOX Exceedance to come up. NOX Exceedance means that the AdBlue isn't doing its job, or the catalyst isn't doing its job. Hopefully it's just your AdBlue. You don't want it to be a catalyst because that's going to be expensive. The blockage on the port for the AdBlue injector, of course, will cause that. Letting your AdBlue run too low will cause that, and like I said, once it gets triggered off on these cars, you can get confused and maybe think the car needs parts. 99% of the time it doesn't. Just needs this sort of procedure doing and everything reset. So that's it, we're all finished on this one, and I'll see you on our next video.